Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first series of, episode of Creative Talks, talking to creatives, where in these trying times, I'm speaking to super radical, inspiring creatives who are navigating a way to inspire all of us. Yes, Hayleigh, I'm talking to you to inspire us to get through this. So, Hayleigh, welcome to Creative Talks. So who's
Hi.
Hayleigh? Hayleigh and Orly are two women who created a box that is the most out-of-the-box box you've ever come across in your life. Okay, this box is all about being out of the box. You will know pop art theater from Maboneng, but now theater since 2020 is a different thing. And Hayleigh, I want to talk to you about, because I think you guys are you're not a Maboneng anymore. You're not that type of theater anymore. So what type of theater are you right now? Where are you at?
I don't think we're any type of theater because theater implies a physical space. So, I mean, we are, as I guess, a production house, as performing arts practitioners, we are somewhere on the internet. So we are making work. We're continuing to keep ourselves busy, to keep ourselves stimulated, and to try and still fulfill the role that pop art played in the performing arts community, which is providing a platform for work that is being generated. And we're just currently providing that platform on the internet. I'm very weary of talking about the thing we do on the internet as theater. It's some kind of digital performance that is coming very much from a live practitioner's space, but is sometimes also completely static new content that has been really fun to discover and experiment with, and to be forced into a new medium and find out how our predominant background as live performance people can make that come alive.
I so agree with you, because I tried doing I thought, okay, so online theater, I'm trying to, how do you adapt for that? Because we don't have the live audience. It makes radical, massive difference. And so exactly what you said, you have to completely innovate. And when I watched Zoomprov, and I want to chat to you about your Zoomprovs, when I watched that, it was so amazing to see what you can actually do on Zoom through performance. So how did Zoomprov start? What is Zoomprov? Let's start. What is Zoomprov? How did it start? Tell us about it.
So we've had an improv group for the last 10 years that was started by Tony Morkel and Roberto Pombo, and they were very kind to let me in when I knew nothing about improv, and I think I've been with the group for about 7 years. And we have for as long as that time, we've been getting together as diligently as we can once a week. It used to be on Monday evenings at Pop Art, and just playing. The group has never really been about improv as a performance. It's been about improv as a practice. So when the lockdown hit, it was like, oh, this is something that I have as part of my practice that keeps me fit, keeps me stimulated, make sure that, like, when I have an audition, I'm ready. That it's a place where I generate new ideas for theater shows. It's a place where I network with other people who are making shows. So it was very scary to think about that, even for a 5-week period, not being part of my life. And I think for everyone else in the group, and between myself and Jess Taylor, who'd just come back from doing a whole lot of also daily improv overseas, we kind of had this conversation. We were like, well, there's the Zoom thing. Should we just get together on Monday night and talk and see? And we kind of got together, and we had a couple of complaints, and like, oh God, what are we going to do? And I was, oh guys, it's only 5 weeks. What are you reading? What are you watching? And then we're like, let's play. What games can work in this sort of interface? And slowly but surely, we've started to realize that you don't need to contextualize it for here. You can play with environment. So we've become very comfortable moving the camera, and we've had like shows that are specific about environment. We've had practice sessions that are about character. So we've been really, really disciplined. And what's been quite amazing about this format is that there's no excuses. Like, yeah, no, we're meeting on Monday, get online. Like, it's not, oh, I don't feel like coming in, or in my car, or, you know, it's like the barrier to entry to actually get together has been so much less that we are so practiced now. Yeah, so Zoomprov is an adaptation of improvising, same games, some new games, new adaptations, but for this format to reach our audience as we can now, and to reach an international audience, and to include, like, some people like Rachel Neary are living in the UK at the moment. We're able to play with her, which is fantastic because we've missed her so much. Yeah, so it's a adaptation of improv for Zoom, not necessarily for COVID.
So what, I've got goosebumps. And you know, the one thing I did see over watching the Zoomprov, what I loved was exactly what you mentioned now about the moving. I love that there was a scene, I don't know what the actor's name is, that he had to get tomato sauce. I think you were in the scene, and he had to go get tomato sauce in the kitchen, and like, you guys are moving and going, and I'm like there watching. It is so entertaining to watch, so entertaining. And okay, so it sounds like, so it was like almost like practice group, but now it's something that we can watch. Like, this is like entertainment.
Well, yeah, like I said, we're not a group that focuses particularly on performance, but because usually, like, our improv work goes into other performances, and I think because we felt that there was a disconnect between us and our audiences generally, that this was a really nice thing to put in front of people, to share with people, to give a little bit of hope, give some laughs. So we were like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Like, let's see if anyone comes. And then people came and they interacted in the chat, and we're like, you're there, okay, cool. Now it feels like community, which I think is something, you know, that theater is so important for, and it's something I've missed so much. And I also, like, within this, trying to work out where we can be digitally, something that was really important for me, and something, you know, PopArt's hashtag is choose live, and there's something about community, communing, and the feeling of a live performance, of something happening just for you at that time, as opposed to something pre-recorded, that I wanted to make sure as an artistic director that stayed in the program. So Zoomprov really was the beginning of that kind of working out. And what was really nice is, like, it's quite low stakes. Our audience is very understanding. We'd never done a broadcast before. So as it was also like a really great vehicle for us to figure out how live broadcast works, how we can, like, put a logo in the corner, all, you know, all these fun different things that now we know, which is insane. Like, we never intended to know them, and now we know them.
I think that's so empowering, and you know, because I feel there's many artists that we found ourselves going, there's many artists who don't feel empowered on the digital space. It's a new platform, it's scary, and so it's and it's scary. And I spoke to an artist who told me, oh, it's a dying art form, but the thing is, you guys have kept the community going. Now, okay, so I want to know, how does Zoomprov work now? Can we watch it every Monday night? Is it still live? You were at Vryfees. People can make donations because you guys are saved. I think you're saving towards your next space. So what's happening there right now?
So we are busy planning as the year goes. We took a nice break, which was wonderful. The nice thing about being pop art is that we're self-mandated, so we really only have to do things when the time is right. And what's also really weird about digital is that you don't have to have a consistent schedule. It's nice to be present, it's nice to be there for the audience, but we haven't had to, like, set something up. What we usually do with improv is we decide on what kind of experiments we want to do. Do we want to do an environmental based show, which is called The Kitchen Sink? Do we want to do something like Spookzoekers, where we are all in the same environment, but we're broadcasting out? Do we want to do do something like a normal Zoom, and do we want to do a WhatsApp show, which we've done with lots of, that was super fun. So like, what does a season look like? What are those experiments? We'll decide on the dates and then we'll publish them on our website. We converted over to ticketed events at the end of last year. People are still welcome to donate on our website at any point, but the ticketed event allows us to kind of say that this is the income generated here needs to go towards the Zoomprov performers.
Okay.
We also did a live show at the end of last year, and we'll see when it's gonna be appropriate to do that again. We were very lucky to perform in the new Bioscope space at 44 Stanley, which is a gorgeous performance space, and center. And we had, it was fun, but it was scary to be in front of a live audience again, and would be even more scary now with the second wave. So that's like, whoa.
Yeah, and how many people came?
We had like an audience of like 15 people.
Okay.
You wouldn't think it, but it's kind of overwhelming when you haven't had that response. There's two things. Like we're super fit. Our brains are so fit. We're like really good at improvising because we've been doing it more than once a week, every single week this whole past year.
That's amazing.
But our bodies aren't. So like in the middle of the live show, I sort of like turned to Eduardo in the middle of the show and I'm like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to be on stage right now. I'm tired. And then also that you've had the feedback and comments, and now it's from people. And you're like, what? Oh, you there? Oh my God. Okay. Like, let me adjust to that.
I haven't even thought of that. I haven't even thought of that. But I can imagine. Yeah.
The silence in the beginning of doing anything online that's live is crazy, and then the noise is crazy now too. So it's this constant like adaptation and figuring out what. I think it's also it's a really good place to be in as a performer, because you're figuring out what works for you and what you are more attracted to, what you get your spirit from when it comes to performing, which we don't often get to ask ourselves.
No. So that's the beauty of something being taken away from you.
Yeah, if you're gonna put it like that. Yeah.
So international opportunities, do you think that now that you can create work online, you were mentioning that now there's more international scope, but what's happening like internationally for theater practitioners, or what is the where can pop art position themselves like in an international performance production house? Is that an option?
I mean, it's an interesting thing, because we were through the Center for the Less Good Idea as well. The previous year we'd done international tours, and we were tour managing, and that was really fun. And we felt very much part of an international community and circuit, which now isn't kind of operating, right? But it's also really hard to answer that question, because everywhere in the world is in different spaces and everyone's got different rules and different restrictions. But what has been really nice, and what I hope will continue, is just the network and the conversation and the reason to kind of commune. Like I say, I don't think that Zoomprov is something for COVID. I think it's something that we can continue to do even when we're back in theaters, because why not phone up Rachel and Paul Asetutu and say like, cool, we're going to do a show. You're in the States, you're in the UK, you're in Dubai, we're here. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just playing with our chummies. So that's been something that's opened up entirely. We also did an incubator series, which is kind of like it's like our 24 hours, which is a 24-hour play festival, but we had like a 7-day make a 5-minute digital piece thing. And people from all over the world, like we've had so many people engage with pop art over the years from all over the globe. And this was just an excuse to go like, hey, where you're at, what kind of lockdown are you in? Do you want to make something?
Oh my goodness.
So you've got a director sitting in New York and a writer sitting in Botswana and an actor sitting in Joburg. and you've got to kind of figure out what everyone's restrictions are, and what everyone's going through and what everyone's feeling, and put that all together, and then we watch it all at the same time. And that community for me is really important, not because it's going to take us somewhere else, not because it's going to put us into the international stream, because we are understanding all the different things that are happening all around the world, and we're trying to process those together. And I think we can only benefit from understanding that there's more than us.
And you know, the one question why I'm asking about the international is not necessarily about like, oh, going big, but it's just sometimes I feel that the South African audience is a bit limited when it comes to theatre. They're there, but you know, it's you know, we're also very sporty culture. Are you disagreeing with me?
No, not necessarily. I'm just thinking about, you know, there's stories are meant to be shared. So what's really nice about the digital space is that we are able to just reach just so many more people. There's no, I mean, we have even a more particular experience, given that we were a theatre in the inner city for 10 years. So we know what it's like to have barriers to entry.
Yeah.
I think that if people want to make it to a show, they make it to a show. And we can't put everything on the audience. We can't say, you know, like, I know people who would come straight from the rugby to watch a show that they really wanted to watch. If there's impetus, there's some shows that are harder sell that people should really see, and that's where you've got to like find a trick to get them in. But like, I think we have. But I mean, also, you know, there's different theaters who have different types of audience. I think when I think particularly about the pop art audience, it's about finding the new audience. Pop art was always about getting younger people who might not ever consider theater into a theater. We never really leveraged the existing theater audience. Thank God they were there and they supported us. But it was really about getting newer audiences to the theater through, and in many ways our location was fabulous for that.
I feel like what you just said is the big lesson in that is you said you didn't leverage on the existing theatre audience, you created the new theatre audience. And that's exactly what I feel like you guys are doing now. You're like just creating these new opportunities almost. So, I mean, you're a hell of a creative, and I am absolutely admiring your dedication and your consistency, because I think it's about consistency. So if you had to give advice, and like practical advice, a tool for an actor or an artist or a creative watching this, about something you do in your life to nurture your creativity, it can be like just one practical thing.
It feels like such a I don't want it feels like to say a cliche is a cliche. But like, meditation is very important to me. It's a practice that I've had far more time to go into now, and that's, you know, just filling up. I think what meditation is specific to me and to a lot of people, but like, find ways that fill you up. As a creative, you can't go from an empty space. There's that, and then also to just engage in things that are not immediate to you, to broaden your world, to be in different spaces, to go in, to find different communities that aren't the first thing away from you, and engage with that. Like, I think there's so much joy that comes from the unexpected. And we've both got dogs in the background that are
like, don't bark, please.
That's the Zoom revolution, is that you've got the wild cards of all the things that happen in your home.
Absolutely. The hardy does and the dogs and
Yeah, and that's how, I guess, the third thing is like, just go with it. Just respond to what's happening now. Don't worry about what you were doing. you've just
Oh.
got to be able to be responsive. That's our job as creatives, is to respond, not react.
Oh, yes, that is a quotable line there, to respond and not react. And absolutely, that's the other tip there. It's like to let go of what was and what you thought what you were and what your career was. I mean, I cried in 2020 so much about like where I was heading with my career, and this was the plan, and this, and we were getting there. And now all of that, and it's just like you said, it's just letting go and evolving
Yeah.
with it. Thank
Yeah, there's beauty that's come from it. Like this whole, the sort of plan for the first quarter of this year has got so little to do with being in a theatre, but is all informed by our practice as theatre makers. And it's like we're working on some really exciting dream projects.
Amazing. I can't wait. I get your newsletters, so I can't wait to hear about all these. I mean, because it sounds like a secret. So I can't wait to hear about what's in store. Is it in store? Can you tell us anything to look out for?
Yeah, I can tell you. I mean, right now we're working on a fantastic piece for My Body, My Space, which is a really exciting festival happening it opens on the 29th of January, and it's all on your phone. It's on WhatsApp. You just text a WhatsApp number, you say hi, and the festival comes to you, and you can access it throughout the month. And we're doing a really exciting interactive piece there, which is about community and protest, and trying to coordinate community-driven action around issues that are happening around us, things that we're passionate about, things that anyone's passionate about. So that's a project called I Want to Do More. So look out for that. It's going to be on the My Body, My Space platform in February.
I will put all of this below in the link below on YouTube so that everyone can click.
Thank you. That's very exciting. And then we are then working on a live sketch show, which will be made for the digital space, but it'll be recorded live, and it is a bunch of fabulous practitioners, writers, actors, many of whom you know from improv or Zoomprov, making a show called the South African Sketch Show, and it will be broadcast somewhere at the end of February or early March.
Yay! I can't wait. I can't wait.
Extremely excited about.
That is very exciting. And, I'm going to wrap us up. Hayleigh, it's so inspiring chatting to you, and the fact that you guys are just going. And I really think you guys are consistent. You have a community. You're like a great community. I love everything you guys create. So keep at it. Thank you.